Alabama looking to rebound after a tough loss to Oklahoma. That's the bad news. The good news is that everything that Kalen DeBoer's Crimson Tide wanted to accomplish is still there for the taking, including next week's Iron Bowl down at Auburn. We're going to preview that all right here on the Bama Tailgate Show. Let's get this thing started.
The original Bama Football Tailgate Show is on the air. Alabama football is rolling, and we've got you covered with a breakdown of the game matchup, an SEC preview, and all the fun of an afternoon on the quad. With national championship winning quarterback Jake Coker and CoverCrimson.com host Mick Gillispie. The Bama Football Tailgate Show is presented by Pearl River Resort Casino and Hotel in Choctaw, Mississippi. Let's play! Featuring the Sportsbook at the Timeout Lounge, Dancing Rabbit Golf Course. Also brought to you by Tuscaloosa Hyundai. New thinking, new possibilities. Genesis of Tuscaloosa. Luxury with a national championship service department. Yuengling Lager. Yuengling, America's oldest brewery. The only beer you need at a Bama tailgate party. The Floribama world-famous beach bar and lounge in Orange Beach. Sevierville, your Smokies start here. NewLifeArt.com, publisher of fine art editions by Daniel A. Moore. Use the code Bama Tailgate for amazing deals at NewLifeArt.com.
And also brought to you by Visit Tuscaloosa, where tradition meets adventure. Alabama personal injury lawyer Steve Mezrano. Mezrano wins, we got you.
Now the host of the original Bama Tailgate Show, here's Mick Gillispie.
All right, roll tide, everybody, and welcome to the Bama Tailgate Show. We're presented by Pearl River Resort, and for the next 2 hours, we're going to preview number 10 Alabama versus Eastern Illinois, and that's 1 o'clock at Bryant Denny Stadium. On the show today, we got Chris Lowe from On 3, and we're going to ask him the tough questions about what's going on at Alabama. Tom Abraham from 97.7 ESPN The Zone's going to be here. Our friend Barry Buckner's in the house. You guys know him from Tuscaloosa Hyundai. Steve Mezrano is going to be here to start the show. Mike Johnson, the two-time All-American and national champion, is actually tagging in for the Iron Bowl show. That means somebody else is tagging out. We're going to talk about that as well. But this show's brought to you by Pearl River Resort in Philadelphia, Mississippi. It's a short drive from Tuscaloosa and Birmingham Vegas-style sportsbook at Golden Moon Casino. He's a national championship quarterback that led Alabama to the 2015 title, and a guy that's probably right now trying to make sure that he can hear. I have to see him messing with his headphones right now. None other than Jake Coker, and I'm Mick Gillispie. Good to see you, Jake.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
Okay, good.
Because you can't hear me.
I feel like I'm working with some 1960s equipment over here.
Well, look.
That's your college days, huh?
This is what we used to have at WVUA in Tuscaloosa when I was on the college radio station.
It's like Alexander Graham Bell came up with this.
It's actually pretty advanced. This is actually pretty advanced stuff, by the way. You just have a leaky faucet on the edge here that plugs into the board. But
so he's trying to give you grief.
And there's I was going to introduce you. I'll do it now. Stephen Mezrano. Good to see you, Stephen, and coming and hanging out. Kevin Ritchie. We got not one but two guys from your office, just in case anybody tries to sue us.
That's right. We're here. We got your back.
Thank you. I love that. I love that feeling when I'm, it's like having two insurance companies. All right, look, Bama's number 10 in the country. They're 8-2, and they're playing a team in Eastern Illinois. A lot of us were like, we didn't want these matchups. Eastern Illinois is 3-8. I'll be honest, somebody on this stage right now didn't even know that there was an Eastern Illinois. I don't want to mention any names, Jake, but you just said it a second ago. This is probably a good time to play this game because Bama's played a grueling schedule so far.
Yeah, no, look, we've had the toughest stretch of games, I think, of anybody in the country. It's been a grind. I thought we'd come in and I thought the matchup was good against Oklahoma, but what I was nervous about was Brent Venables getting a little creative and getting us in some bad spots. I think if you watch that game and realize, how the turnover battle went, which is what we mentioned last Friday, it obviously didn't go our way. I didn't think we played awful, but those key bad plays really cost us the win last Saturday.
Yeah, and that leads me to kind of my first point. After I say welcome to Innisfree, and great to be back here. Steven, thank you for lunch. Picked it up for us today. Didn't have to do that, but it always the Yinglings are always colder when they're on Steven's tab.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Have you noticed that?
They taste better.
Yeah, they do. They're just wonderful. But the wings here are always great. We love being at Innisfree. Obviously, not the atmosphere that we've had the last 3 games when you talk about Tennessee, LSU, and Oklahoma, but still always great to be here and hang out with Sneed and Tripp and the rest of the gang at Innisfree. 23-21 loss. Alabama, I thought they played in a lot of ways much better than Oklahoma, but they kept turning the football over and making costly mistakes. A pick six, another quarterback strip sack, a fumble on a punt return. And even though Oklahoma couldn't move the ball, they won the football game because Alabama just couldn't stay out of their own way.
Yeah, and like I said earlier, I think Venables was key to that. You watch that pick six. That pick six alone, just he put Ty in a lot of different spots. And Ty, you've heard me talk about him throughout the year. I think mentally he has shown to me that he's probably the most advanced quarterback in terms of just understanding football, knowing where he needs to go. The pick six. He makes a Mike declaration to the left. Center works to the field. You got, they bring more than we can block. He throws a hot route, that slant to Isaiah Horton. The safety, whether he was working to the flat or not, I don't know if he just, based on tendencies, understood that's where it was going, and that was the option for the hot route is going to be a slant, and he jumps it, or they were playing some form of, 2 invert. He knew it was coming, and he had been prepped for that all week. That's something he's seen on film a million times, and Venables did a great job of getting his guys ready to where they understood what was coming. And even when Ty, I felt, made good decisions, to me that's not a bad decision. You don't see safeties come down like that aggressively and kind of know the hand you're about to be dealt. So I think he played a decent game outside of those really bad turnovers. I didn't think we looked awful, but again, those are the type of games that reminded me of 2015 Ole Miss, where you have bad, really, really bad plays that you just can't overcome over the course of a game.
Well, it's a tough one, but we'll talk about how Alabama has a lot to play for on the show today. We are really glad that you're here with us on the Bama Tailgate YouTube channel, which is obviously 24/7, and it's free to be on there. We put shows up, content every day. We got Shank, who played at Alabama, an offensive lineman, Alphonse Taylor. We got Mike Johnson on there weekly. We got Cruz Oxenrider, and we got Chris Lowe. So it's an all-star lineup. Like and subscribe there. If you guys are watching on the YouTube channel, thank you for being here, and we appreciate you so much. Now, the other thing is our statewide radio network, including our flagship station, 106.9, Birmingham, Tuscaloosa. It is always just so great to be number one on game day, and it's because of you guys. We appreciate you so much. But whether you're listening in Jasper or Coleman, or you're listening in Florence, Alabama, or Huntsville, or down where we live in Pensacola, Montgomery, thank you for being here on the show today as we talk Alabama football. Alabama, Eastern Illinois. We're going to talk more about it with our esteemed colleagues right after this.
I may not suit up on Saturdays anymore, but I'm still in the game.
Let's roll!
In here, I call the plays, make adjustments, and lay it on the line. Want to feel that fire, that rush? Then you've got to get in the game. I used to say it in the tunnel, and I still say it now. Let's roll.
Let's roll!
Why walk when you can fly? Tap into your inner eagle. Yingling Traditional Lager. Spread your wings.
When you head to the Smoky Mountains, it's only natural to visit Sevierville.
Even we had to check it out.
And we've been here our whole lives.
Experience the adventure of a lifetime.
I'm king of the world.
Even you can get a bird's eye view of the Smokies.
You're going down, Billy. Whoa.
Your Smokies start here.
Touchdown flavor, Gulf Coast style. Whether you're here for the big game or just hungry for a win, Floribama Old River Grill has you covered. Catch every pass, every play, and every moment on our wall of big screens while you enjoy fresh Gulf seafood, legendary burgers, and ice-cold drinks. With waterfront views and game day energy like no other, this is where football meets paradise. Grab your crew, bring your team spirit, and make Floribama Old River Grill your home field advantage this season, where the food, drinks, and football are always a win. Located across from the world-famous Floribama or online at FloriBamaOldRiverGrill.com.
Get your life back when the world's gone crazy. Get your life back, and I don't mean maybe when you know you got to have a friend. You call 900-9000, 'cause Wiz wins. Get your life back, baby. Get your life back, baby. Call 900-9000. Stephen Mezrano.
Rock you don't want to miss. Lita Ford. And joining Lita for a very special encore set, the legendary Dee Snider from Twisted Sister. With special guests, Firehouse. Saturday, December 27th, Pearl River Resort Silver Star Convention Center. Tickets on sale now at pearlriverresort.com.
Barry Buckner for Tuscaloosa Hyundai. When Hyundai introduced America's best 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty, it was one of a kind. But you know us, how can we improve on that? Tuscaloosa Hyundai was first in the nation with a 1,000,000-mile warranty on every new Hyundai. When we told customers no charge, they smiled, and you will too. At Tuscaloosa Hyundai, home of the 1,000,000-mile smile.
Welcome back to Innisfree as we talk Alabama football, get you set for Alabama, Eastern Illinois, the calm before the storm. That'll be the Iron Bowl this year, and Alabama an opportunity to win today and then win against Auburn and go to Atlanta for a chance to win the SEC championship game and hopefully go to the college football playoff. Our show is brought to you by Pearl River Resort and Casino in Choctaw. And what I want to remind you guys of is there's a huge concert coming. And talking about Dee Snider from Twisted Sister, we're not going to take it. Lita Ford, who teamed up with Ozzy, Firehouse. Maybe Coker isn't really up on those guys, but Steven, you look like a guy that knows good music.
I'm a country music guy. No,
oh, come on.
I mean, you'd have
Kevin,
to go to Kevin.
help me out, Kevin.
I completely agree. I absolutely love it. But unfortunately, it's becoming the Geritol Rock and Roll Hall of Fame with that level. But it's fantastic.
Well, look, I saw Rick, not Rick, but what's his name? Help me out here. In Vegas.
Good luck.
I think. All right. Well, we'll talk about this later. This is a week hanging out at Pearl River Resort.
See, this is what happens.
This is when you get old right here.
You're here. We're trying to get hyped up for Eastern Illinois, and this is what happens.
Rod Stewart. I saw Rod Stewart. Barry
Yeah.
saw Rod Stewart, too. I'll wait until Barry gets up here to talk music because Rod Stewart was awesome. I saw him in Vegas.
Ford's 80 years old.
She still rocks, man. That's the thing. All right. Well, look, talking with Steve Mezrano from the Mezrano Law Firm, Kevin Ritchie, Jake Coker, Mick Gillispie, all here as we get you set for this Bama Eastern Illinois game. Coach DeBoer to Penn State. I'm going to give you guys my take, and then I want to hear what you think. Coach DeBoer, I like him, and I don't want him going anywhere, but he signed a contract. He needs to honor that contract. I keep hearing all this talk. I don't buy into it. I think he's going to stay at Alabama. But honestly, like, if he leaves, it's like a $7 million payout, over 2 years to go. If they put that money in the players, I mean, I'm sick and tired of these agents that are out there floating these stories and trying to make more money for their clients. Guy hasn't won anything yet. Like, will he win something this year? Yeah, I think he can. But a year and change into a deal coming off of a loss to Oklahoma where you turned the ball over 3 times, I don't want to hear about you going to Penn State. That's just my opinion.
Well, from the position of an attorney, since you get paid on the percentage of the total contract, I could completely understand why Jimmy Sexton and the other agents do the way they do it, because it's Christmas early. But that being said, I completely agree with you. I don't. He hasn't won anything yet. I generally like Kalen DeBoer. I think he's doing a good job. I think he will have success here if he just gives it time. This is a tough place, and that's this is a pressure cooker. So if you can't handle the pressure, get out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, it's not the end of the world. I mean, we found that out. We lost Nick Saban. So, I mean, I'm not that concerned, but it does. You hear Lane Kiffin. Where's Lane Kiffin going to go? Is he going here? Is he going there? Is he buying a house in Gainesville or at LSU? Is he staying? It's like, you signed a contract. You got all these kids to come play football for you. This is the kind of stuff that needs to be happening after the season, because you're ruining the guys that gave you the commitment, Jake, like when you did at Alabama. Can you imagine if they were like, well, Nick Saban might go to Miami or might go here or there, when you had a chance to win a championship?
Yeah, I mean, look, I think in terms of college football, everybody's pointing the finger at everybody else. But at the end of the day, coaches, you can't complain about NIL when everybody's up and leaving. You can't, these guys that are up and leaving, transferring, you can't point at a coach and say, well, you promised me this. Well, none of that matters anymore. I hate to break it to you, but loyalty doesn't matter anymore in this sport. And I hate to say that. I mean, I think Kalen DeBoer is happy in Tuscaloosa. It's not something I've ever asked him personally, but I think this is a good fit for him. I think, to be honest with you, as Alabama fans, I'm one of them. I'm not saying you got to lower your standards, but you kind of got to look at the body of work that Kalen DeBoer's put together. I think he's on a real positive note right now. He's done a good job of keeping his roster together. This team has become very disciplined since the time he started to where we are now. He's got a really talented roster. I think one of the most talented in the country. And look, we're 8-2. So, I mean, we've had a damn good year, and we're looking at a playoff berth. I mean, I don't know what the probability is with ESPN, but I would imagine it's over 80%. I mean, I think if you get blown out in the SEC championship, that's about the only way that you don't make it. But everything's pointing in the right direction. And again, Alabama, we got to be happy for him. We got to support him. He's one of us. And, again, you can't just hire and fire these guys the way that this is going. Half these schools, I don't even know where you're going to get your next head coach.
Yeah.
I mean, you're just going to get the guy that LSU's tired of, and you got to hire him. And I don't get it. There's only so many openings. There's only so many guys that can come in and change the dynamic of an SEC program. And so at some point, you kind of just try to prop your guy up and support him and make him better, give him more opportunities. But with NIL, the transfer portal, you're going to have bad years. It just is what it is. And it's people got to get used to it.
Steven, your spider senses, do you think this is being pushed by agents?
I do. I don't see why you leave. If you're DeBoer, I don't see why you leave. I mean, think about all the speculations we've had that Nick was going to go to LSU or Nick's going somewhere else, and he's retired. He's at ESPN. And they're like, oh. So, no, I just don't see it. I think the agents are pushing it, and if I was an agent, I would be pushing it. I would be putting something out there. But, I mean, look at Alabama's record. Look what they're doing, and look where DeBoer's at in the middle of fighting to get into the playoffs. I think he's focused on what he's trying to do here, and I just think it's just smoke and mirrors.
Well, I hope so. Bama dropped 6 spots after that 2-point loss to Oklahoma in the college football playoff. A lot of controversy about Alabama being behind Notre Dame. after the tough schedule, the gauntlet of beating 4 straight ranked teams and being 4-1 against ranked teams. But, obviously the loss to Oklahoma, 2-point loss at home, and then the Florida State game at the beginning of the season. Is there any concern here about this?
I mean, look, Alabama's got an opportunity to win a national championship. What I don't like is our lack of flexibility on offense. I mean, I love our offense, but, we don't dominate in the run game. And I've said it, for a long time, that if you don't have a consistent run game, it puts a lot of pressure on the quarterback in the pass game. And, you can have a lot of explosive plays throwing the ball, but it's hard to put together drives, just drive in, drive out, throwing the ball 70% of the time. And when your longest run of the year, I believe, was last week, 28 yards outside of the AK Deer,
right.
Long run against ULM. It's just hard to not have explosive game plays in the run game, to not be able to hand the ball off, 2 times within one set of downs and not being in good position. You can't have these negative plays we're having.
Mm-hmm.
And look, I'm being negative. I think these guys are doing a great job. Again, we're 8-2 and we got a lot of talent. But I'm kind of nitpicking here.
I think that's the problem. We have a lot of talent, and it's just like, why aren't we doing what we think that talent can do? So I think as fans, we do want to nitpick, right? But you're right. I think they're doing a great job, and we can nitpick them. But then I kind of wanted to nitpick Grubb after the game, be like, we came out in the second half, we're down 14-20. We marched on the field, we score a touchdown, and then we hold them 3 and out, and we run the ball. And we punt, and then we run the ball, and we punt, and we run the ball, and then we punt. It's like, why did we not just keep doing something? The passing game, whatever worked. When we came back to start the second half, but I'm not a coach. I don't know what Venables was giving. I don't know the looks. I don't know the checks, what Ty was seeing on the field. So as a fan, you're like, you see all the talent, and then, I mean, I'm in the stands, and you hear it. People are screaming about Ryan Williams. Like, quit painting your fingernails. Just catch the ball. Like, why can't you get open? I mean, that's what they're screaming.
Put your dinosaur down.
Yeah, that's. When you sit next, I sit next to the student section, and that's what they're screaming, and the fans are screaming it, and they're all like, they just don't understand because there's so much talent. So I think the frustration comes around that we believe and feel that we're so talented.
Mm-hmm.
Why can't we get put in the right situations and dominate or impose our will to get 1 yard for a first down?
Yeah. Well, look, the most dominating thing you can do is run the ball 65-70% of the time and just beat the hell out of people.
Mm-hmm.
That's, you wear defenses down doing that when you're just physically imposing. That says it all, right? If you can run the ball consistently, then you're consistently dominating people physically.
Mm-hmm.
Ryan Williams, I love him to death. He should be a freshman this year. The problem with throwing the ball as much as we throw it, defenses can pin their ears back, and you can drop more guys in coverage and make it tougher. Last year we had Jalen Milroe, and running the ball was the key to victory for us, And so a lot of times you get a lot of explosive plays, and you get good matchups with Ryan Williams, and he'd get jump balls, catch it, and run for touchdowns. This year, you can put a lot of guys on the back end and keep that from happening, and you gotta be able to pick people apart, intermediate and short yardage ranges, and Ty's got to put it where it needs to be. But it's all about matchups, numbers, and guys are like Venables. They're playing the pass, and it makes it tougher and tougher on these receivers to find open windows and for Ty to deliver the ball. But again, that's the coaches got to play to the strengths, right? You can call run plays all you want to. If you don't, you can have the numbers, you can have the looks, but we have a lot of negative plays too, and some of these guys are getting blown up, and you run the ball, and then it's 2nd and 13, and you're stuck.
Right.
Yeah, that's how it goes. Steven, Kevin, tell us about Mezrano and the Mezrano Law Firm and what you guys do.
So we are a personal injury firm. We cover the state of Alabama. So we like to take it from a standpoint of, since I've been in Iraq, family members have been in one. We want to take it from a standpoint as we understand what you're going through. We want to make sure that we leave nothing uncovered. So we want to be able to be your partner, like your counselor, your partner to the entire process. from the very beginning with your property damage to seeking your medical treatment to how the medical treatment is involving, and then how the wrecks impacted your life from the very beginning, how you were before the wreck to how you were afterwards. And then especially we focus a lot on the mental anguish side of wrecks, that lasting memory that stays with you, that fear factor of being in the car. And we also focus a lot on TBIs. A lot of car wrecks at 5 miles per hour can create a traumatic brain injury. So we really focus on that. We spend a lot of time with our clients making sure that they don't have the mental anguish aspect or the concussion aspect going on that gets misdiagnosed. 75 to 85% of the time in an ER, they miss a concussion.
Wow.
You go to orthopedic doctors, they miss it. They understand the sit, don't play if you're playing football, but they don't understand it from the impact of a car wreck. So we try our very best to try to make sure that we work with our clients, go through that process so that they can effectively communicate to the doctors what issues they're having. And so I think a combination of that has made us to be one of the top personal injury firms in the state.
Yeah, top 10 best of the best attorneys 2024, the national top 100 trial lawyers, top 25 motor vehicle trial lawyers, top 10 trucking trial lawyers, and America's Best Advocates, top 10 personal injury attorneys. So you guys, great to see you guys. If you stick around, we'd love you to do that. Jump back on later in the show. But Mez wins. That's it. You guys love them. And like I said before, you know, when guys like Bull Corey and Brett Elmore and people that I trust say, hey, this guy, Bradley Price, who we're going to talk about here coming up, say that this is the guy you need to talk to. That's Steven. You can take their word for it. Hey, don't forget, we're going to be at the Floor Bama next week. We've got hats to give away. The first 20 fans that come through and say, Roll Tide, we got a hat for you. This show's brought to you by Yuengling Lager, which is on tap here, and they'll have it down at the Floor Bama next week. Yuengling is a 6th-generation company. Cheryl, who's part of the company's ownership, is a proud Alabama grad. There's a little bit of crimson love in each one of these green bottles. We actually have a bucket of those up on stage. And try new Yuengling Flight. We'll be right back.
Well, howdy, fans, and welcome to Week 13 of Leonard's Losers as we head down the home stretch of this exciting college football season. The LSPM, that's the little smart pill machine, was in overdrive last week, finishing at 27-8, while Cousin Will in Vegas pulled out a loser to go 9-2. Let's tease the little smart pill machine with some pumpkin pie and see if she fires up. Kentucky versus Vanderbilt. These two first met in 1896 and have battled 97 times on the gridiron, and this is truly one of the South's greatest rivalries. This 3-hour drive from the Bluegrass State to Music City is a must-win for the Nashville Yacht Club if they are to have any chance for a playoff spot. The Felines are on a 3-game win streak, and the Doors best shore up that dinghy to remain in the hunt. Leonard's loser, Kentucky. Arkansas versus Texas. The Hogs head to Austin for this SEC matchup Saturday afternoon. This one should have significant implications for bowl eligibility and conference standings. This reminds Leonard of a favorite line from a country song. If you're going to play in Texas, you got to have a fiddle in the band. And the R-backs don't have a Stradivarius in the house. Leonard's loser, Arkansas. Tennessee versus Florida. The long riflemen sneak to the swamp, hoping to muzzle the Gator Chomp, which hasn't been exercising much of a bite at 3-7. The Vols have lost their last 10 in Gainesville. This could be the year Smokey has fried gator for lunch or not. Leonard's loser in a mild upset, Tennessee. Pittsburgh versus Georgia Tech. The Ramblin' Wreck can clinch a 10-game season and a spot in the ACC championship with a win Saturday. This will provide some of the biggest highlights for postseason activity, and the Ramblin' Wreck just had a tune-up. Leonard's loser, Pitt. USC versus Oregon. The Trojans head to Eugene looking for their first victory since 2011. Donald is riding a 4-game winning streak since their only loss to Indiana in early October. The visitors will need to get by the Ducks to be in position for a CFP bid. This should be a battle of top 10 offenses and could result in a shootout at the Eugene Corral. Leonard's loser, USC. Western Kentucky versus LSU. The 6-4, 3-4 SEC Tigers, fresh off snapping a 3-game losing streak against a Hog, entertain a Hilltopper Saturday night in Death Valley. Leonard always wondered what a Hilltopper was and found it was so named because the school's campus sits on a hill in Bowling Green. About as original as Stanford Cardinal, which refers to the color, not the bird, but I digress. Mike the Tiger best take care of business Saturday night and not looking to be storming the Norman in Week 14. The Toppers can occupy their trip back to the Bluegrass State, counting their $1.8 million they will receive for this whooping. Leonard's loser, Kentucky. California versus Stanford. The big game is the name given to this rivalry, with the winner receiving a trophy of an axe mounted on a large wooden plaque with the scores of past games. The Golden Bears are fond of climbing trees and will mount the Stanford mascot early and often. California Governor Gavin Newsom will throw out the first pitch, and no one on the left coast will know the difference. Leonard's loser, Stanford.
Fans, we're going to take a break right now and hear a word from Sponsorsville. We'll be right back with more Leonard's Losers.
Roll Tide, everybody, and thanks for hanging out with us on the Bama Tailgate Show, coming to you from Innisfree in Tuscaloosa, talking Bama as they play a tune-up for the Iron Bowl against Eastern Illinois. What I want to say is that we appreciate our buddy Bradley Price so much with Black Belt Outdoor. They're in the heart of the Black Belt region of Alabama, and they cover 13 different counties in central Alabama with both static and digital billboards. You see us all over the place. You need to check them out, Black Belt Outdoor, if you're looking for, as my friend Bull Corey used to say, for your billboard needs. I think it makes it easier to say that, right? With Jake Coker, it's good to see Barry Buckner from Tuscaloosa Hyundai. We've had Brooke on, but now we got the man himself. We hear you on the commercials. We see your face, and here you are. How you been?
I've been great. It's great to see you guys. Yeah, see you.
Great to be seen, right?
That's right. That's
well,
right.
You know, Bradley Price is the one that introduced us. You remember that?
Yeah, he did. He did. But you were on in Tuscaloosa for years. Big Dave and Wally had the show on WTBC. That was my first job, and I'll listen to. Burt Bank was the guy that owned the station when I was in college at Alabama. That was my first job, and I listened to Casey Kasem's Countdown, and once in a while they'll be from like 1979, and also WTBC and Tuscaloosa playing the countdown. I think Burt right away, but a very famous radio family with Wally and Searsopper. Do you remember him?
Absolutely, yeah.
That was his grandfather.
Searsopper. Where is that?
That was his
last name?
grandfather's name. He was a big radio icon here in town, Tuscaloosa.
That's a great radio name.
Yeah. I never met him, but I've heard great things about him, and so it's cool that we both know. Now, obviously, Bradley does Black Belt Outdoor. Well, Barry, great to see you. Before we talk football, I feel like I've gotten two guys together here that have one big interest in common. Because when I go in your office over at Tuscaloosa Hyundai, Skyland and McFarland over there, it's fantastic. I walk in, and I see the turkeys and I see the elks and the deer and everything. Jake would love to come over and hang out.
What kind of calls you making?
All kind of calls. It all got started with the three major bones that come out of a turkey's wing.
Wing bone.
Yes,
I hadn't mastered that yet.
Yeah. Have you got one?
I got one, but I'm not the manufacturer. I didn't trust too much.
So you're talking about Barry makes wing bone turkey calls, and they're amazing. Like these things are absolutely amazing.
The manufacturer was a buddy of mine who made it out of the wing bone, and I couldn't figure it out.
Speaking of all this, look, word from North Pole is that Santa Claus said that you guys have been bad and that y'all not going to get a Christmas. That's the word.
Barry, thank you so much.
Awesome. Barry awesome. Divvying out the gifts,
and you wrapped it
so
too,
you
man.
Open it up while you're here, and then we'll talk about it.
I love this idea. Well, I'll tell you this, Jake. When we started the show, He was one of the first sponsors we had, but during COVID, we started during COVID. I got the check. I didn't know how we were going to pay the bills, and that was the first check I got. I think about that all the time, all the hard work that we've put in, but he's a great guy. And when you're out buying a car, you're like, you just want to go talk to somebody that's going to give you a good deal. He takes the side stickers off. There's not a lot of the BS that goes on in the car industry. And that's why Barry's been at it for such a long time. And he has so many fans like me. So,
well, I've been doing it 56 years. Thank goodness that I've got a daughter that's talented enough I can pass the torch to, because I'm tired.
Yeah. Well, she's been great. She was telling us last week some of the best tailgates that you guys have ever been a part of, that she's ever been a part of.
Loudest games.
Yeah, loudest games. Oh, yeah. See, I love this right here.
That's pretty awesome. And
I forgot that you made pens too. This is, for those of you that are listening on radio right now, this is an Alabama pen. I'm going to show you on the Bama Tailgate YouTube channel.
That's a 1 of 1.
Yeah, this is so cool. It's got elephants on the side.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, the one I've got is just straight bone. That's incredible. Oh wow. Alabama one too.
Yeah, tell us about
the wing-bone
these.
Turkey call.
Can you use that? Do you know how to work?
I've tried it before, but I can't get it to sound right.
You just got to work on it.
Yeah, you got to practice over and over again.
Just give us one blow and see what you can do.
Can't do it.
Pitiful, Jay.
I know. Put him on the spot.
I'm a slate guy, but it may take a while.
Look at how cool that is, though. It's kind of got a camouflage look to it. The band matches. It's got the Alabama logo on there.
No,
and you made this from that's houndstooth. Yeah, you made this from a bone.
Yeah, those are actually 3 bones that are cut and put together out of a wild turkey's wing.
That's unbelievable.
And sealed up too.
And then I got a buddy that takes them and so he dipped them in the houndstooth, and then I bought the Alabama emblems. I thought that would work good for you, Jay.
Oh, that's awesome.
He likes this more than he's letting on right now.
Yeah, I do.
Like this is he's gonna call me on the ride home.
Try not to let it out there. Like a caged
He's
animal.
Gonna tell
right
me
now.
in the car.
Start crying on me.
And you do the pens too. How did you start doing these? Just as a hobby?
Yeah, it's a hobby business, really. It's Hickory Hill game calls, and it got started. An American Indian taught me how to make the wing bone call.
Really?
And he served in Iraqi One war. He was in special forces, and
the Native Americans, they started calling turkeys with these, didn't they?
7,000 years ago.
That's insane, isn't it?
Yeah, I was just at Chief Ben's office at Philadelphia. That's where we've been all week. We've been filming a commercial.
Turkey, man, a turkey get called up with his own uncle's wing bone.
Well,
that's how it goes. So cool.
See, these 2 bones right here have the highest portion of protein in the bone marrow.
Right.
And so you say, well, how in the world did the American Indians figure this out?
Mm-hmm.
And so they were sucking the bone marrow out of these bones, and then they heard a sound when they got it all out. So you don't blow into these; you have to kiss in them. You have to kind of draw air back through them.
Right.
And so that's my story. I'm sticking to it. I firmly believe that 7,000 years ago there was an American Indian sitting there, and he was sucking that good meat out of that bone, and he heard something go, "Yep."
Yeah.
Said, wow, that sounds like a hen turkey.
Well, the funny thing is
then that turkey's son was in trouble.
You can't. I know he can't wait to see if he can figure this out. Well, thank you, Barry.
The ride home. I'll be learning it on the ride home.
Yeah, that's so cool. Well, let's talk some football here. Do you think that
appreciate it, Barry? Thank you.
That these games like Alabama, Eastern Illinois, now that we're going to a 9-game schedule in the SEC, are these games going to be extinct, or do you think that they're going to keep doing these?
Me?
Well, either one of you guys, Barry.
I still think you're going to have a 12-game season. The universities around the country, their livelihood is on ticket sales, and they got to afford to pay these players and coaches now.
Mm-hmm.
And so to me, I mean, the days of you having absolutely undefeated seasons going 13 or 14 or 15 and 0, it's gone.
Yeah.
the idea is on the last vote is to be in the top 12,
Mm-hmm.
and you got a shot.
Yeah, no doubt.
And so I think Coach DeBoer has done an absolutely fabulous job in this environment today. It's totally different. And so I think they got a good chance. You know, they got to beat Auburn, and they got to win tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
But if they win those two games, of course, the problem is it looks like Georgia's going to get a double bye.
Yeah.
If Alabama beats Auburn, then they get a lot of rest, and Alabama doesn't. Alabama's got to play in the SEC championship game. So,
Mm-hmm. And that ain't that's a tough one too. Texas A&M. Oh,
what Gene Stallings said a long time ago. You know, he said, "Look, these kids can't just keep getting just beat up week after week after week after week." You know, and if you shorten the season up to 8 or 9 or 10 game season, and then have these playoff games, it's not so bad. But you ask these kids to play 15, 16, 17 games. I mean, that's a lot
of football.
Yeah, it's a lot of football.
Hey, let me tell everybody about the winter sales event going on right now at Tuscaloosa Hyundai. 0% for 60 months with also no payment for 90 days, which would be after the Super Bowl on brand new Santa Fe's and Tucson's. We have a great selection at Tuscaloosa Hyundai, and we also have brand new Hyundais that are starting at $21,989. You're the man with that gives out the million-mile smiles, and I love the fact that there's no side stickers. I mean, because after buying my boat, there were a lot of side stickers down in that, and I thought, you know, if I had to deal with this with cars, my head might pop off.
I've been doing this a long time, 56 years, and so I just as a young salesman, you know, I actually worked for somebody that used to put those side stickers on the side of the car. And I said, well, how am I going to explain that to a customer?
Yeah.
What is this ADM, additional dealer markup? Explain the value to that. And so you see a lot of these dealers that add $2,000 to $5,000 to as much as $10,000, and then they say they're going to give you a $10,000 discount. Well, they're not giving you
the trick.
And so it's just, I mean, it's about integrity and honesty, and I've just been doing it a long time. And as a young salesman, I didn't like it, and so I would, if I ever got in a position to where I made those calls, it would never be on any of my cars, and so. The manufacturer sets the price, and that's the price that we start at, and we negotiate the price with each customer, and so it's about integrity to me. It's not so much, you know, every manufacturer makes a decent car today. To me, the difference is the dealer you buy it from.
Right. Yep, no doubt about it. Well, go by and see Barry at Tuscaloosa Hyundai. Say hi to Brooke while you're there. Check out the new cars. Now's the time to do it. It's a great tailgate vehicle as well. When we come back, we're going to talk to Chris Lowe from On3 about everything going on in college football. More of the original Bama Football Tailgate Show right after this.
I may not suit up on Saturdays anymore, but I'm still in the game.
Let's roll.
In here, I call the plays, make adjustments, and lay it on the line. Want to feel that fire, that rush? Then you've got to get in the game. I used to say it in the tunnel, and I still say it now. Let's roll.
Let's roll.
This isn't just a beer. It's a lager. A medium-bodied, amber-colored, one-of-a-kind beer. Made from those bold enough to brew it, for those bold enough to drink it. Elevate your taste. Yingling Traditional Lager. Spread your wings.
Barry Buckner for Tuscaloosa Hyundai. When Hyundai introduced America's best 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty, it was one of a kind. But you know us, how can we improve on that? Tuscaloosa Hyundai was first in the nation with a 1,000,000-mile warranty on every new Hyundai. When we told customers no charge, They smiled, and you will too. At Tuscaloosa Hyundai, home of the Million Mile Smile.
This isn't just a place. It's a pulse and a rhythm where game day is more than a tradition. Heart-pounding yet? It's where the flavors are bold and the portions are generous. Mouth-watering yet? Art, music, and culture paint the city's soul. Creativity flowing yet? So whether you come for the thrill, the taste, the beauty, or the tradition, you'll stay for the Tusca life. Ready to feel it? This is Tuscaloosa. Live the Tusca life.
Get your life back when the world's gone crazy. Get your life back, and I don't mean maybe when you know you got to have a friend. You call 900-9000, 'cause Mez wins. And get your life back, baby. Get your life back, baby. Call 900-9000. Stephen Mezrano.
When you're ready to double down, dive in, drive for a show, and not look back. Roll into Pearl River Resort. From tee times to table games, water slides by day, slots by night. Savor the flavors, feel the fun, win big. Let's roll into Pearl River Resort. Must be 21 or older to play. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
A night of rock you don't want to miss. Lita Ford. And joining Lita for a very special encore set, the legendary Dee Snider from Twisted Sister. With special guests, Firehouse. Saturday, December 27th, Pearl River Resort Silver Star Convention Center. Tickets on sale now at pearlriverresort.com.
When you head to the Smoky Mountains, it's only natural to visit Sevierville.
Even we had to check it out.
And we've been here our whole lives.
Experience the adventure of a lifetime.
I'm king of the world.
Even you can get a bird's eye view of the Smokies.
You're going down, Billy. Whoa.
Your Smokies start here.
Roll Tide, everybody, and welcome back to the Bama Tailgate Show. Alabama, Eastern Illinois, and then Alabama, obviously, trying to get things corrected for their matchup against Auburn a week from now. Hey, we got our buddy Chris Lowe here on the show, but before we do, let me remind you that this is brought to you by Visit Sevierville and the Smoky Mountains. Right now, until February 16th is Smoky Mountain Winterfest. And I'm telling you, it is the place you want to be for the holidays. They put up millions of lights along the Parkway in Sevierville, Pigeon Forge, and Gatlinburg. You can also check out Winterfest attractions like Shadrick's Christmas Wonderland, which is an LED drive-through light show. I love it. I mean, every time a bear video pops up, I'm always like, yeah, I was in Sevierville a couple weeks ago. I saw their bears in my parking lot. But anyway, short drive from Tuscaloosa or wherever you might be hanging out. Sevierville and the Smoky Mountains, I think, are absolutely wonderful. It's really, really, really a beautiful.
When you head to the Smoky Mountains, it's only natural to visit Sevierville. Say it with me now. It ain't that hard. Sevierville. Give me some fit. Your Smokies start here.
All right, there he is, Chris Lowe from On 3. I'm Mick Gillispie, and again, Chris, good to see you. Let's get right into the situation Bama finds themselves in. A tough loss to Oklahoma, game that I think that they should have won. They outplayed Oklahoma in about every aspect, except they didn't manage the game the right way, and they turned the ball over. And so now all of a sudden, Bama has to win, and they have to beat Auburn. But if they do, they're going to the SEC championship game. Your assessment right now of where Alabama's at?
This season has been, man, I don't want to say I'm a soothsayer, but this has been about what I thought it would be, Mick. I thought there would be a lot of these kind of games, teams beating up on each other, teams losing late in the season. Now, I didn't necessarily see Bama losing at home because they've been so good at home. certainly under Nick and even with Kalen there, they've been just a different team. So I didn't see necessarily Oklahoma coming there and winning, but I did think that the rest of this year, we talked about it last week, that there still were some surprises coming. And you guess what? I think there are more coming, with 2 weeks to play. Certainly as we get into that last weekend, Thanksgiving weekend. But I don't think there's a lot of difference. I don't think there's a lot of separation between the 1 and 2 seed, seeds, teams in this league, and teams 6, 7, 8. I really don't. Or even, gosh, maybe you go deeper than that, 9. And you've sort of seen that play out. Alabama has not been able to run the football very well at all. And that was a big factor. And you're right, hurting themselves, self-inflicted wounds. Guys, their total yards were way, way more than Oklahoma. Oklahoma, though, defensively, they're a little bit like Tennessee was last year. I don't think Oklahoma is dynamic by any stretch of the imagination on offense, but they're good enough on defense to be in every game, and you've seen that. And that's really not atypical of Brent Venables' teams. They're always really good on defense. They come at you from different angles. They cause turnovers. They do some things to put you in tough spots, and that's sort of what happened in that game. But you said it, Alabama still controls its own destiny. I sort of hate that phrase, actually. Everybody says it. But they do. I mean, they beat Auburn. They're going to be in the playoff. They're going to be – well, I say they're going to be in the playoff. They're going to be in the championship game. I don't even want to really go there because I think this is crazy, but I hope we don't get to a point, and let's use Bama as an example, where a team goes to its conference championship game and loses, and that game knocks that team out of the playoff. To me, if that happens or if it starts happening, then you just eliminate conference championship games because they're not worth it. But I do think that Bama will be fine if they win. Certainly they're going to win this week, but win on in 2 weeks in the Plains, which, as you know,
tough.
Hadn't been easy the last 2 times Bama's gone to the Plains. You might even say it's taken miracles.
Man, it has. I mean, really, it has.
I think, and we can talk about this more, I think this is a more talented, well-rounded Auburn team than either of the 2 teams that Bama beat the last 2 times on the Plains. They're really good on defense, and it looks like finally that they're starting to use those guys on the outside, i.e. Cam Coleman and Singleton, guys that, when we go back to August, start this season, to me, those were 2 guys that could have played anywhere.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, look, it's setting up to be another huge Iron Bowl, right? I mean, DJ Durkin's trying to convince Auburn that he should be their head coach, and beating Alabama would definitely help him do that. And Kalen DeBoer has a team that needs to win this game now. And look, it's a must win whether you're in the college football playoff or not in the state of Alabama. But now this season's ruined if Alabama loses to Auburn. And I don't know what pressure-wise, who has more pressure on them. I mean, I almost feel like Alabama is better off in this matchup needing to win this game because they're going to be so focused. And if they do what they've done the majority of the season, they'll win. They're a really good team when they play that way. And Auburn's found ways to lose, and now they got some bad breaks against Georgia and some bad calls. But this is an enormous matchup.
I sort of look at it 2 ways from Auburn's perspective. Do they go in knowing, all right, they could get bowl eligible potentially? Is that a team that, I mean, I say this and I understand what the reaction is going to be. Is that a team that wants to play in a bowl game? Do they want to practice for another, 3 months and play in a bowl game? I think, to me, more of the prize for Auburn is to beat Alabama, take them down and ruin their season and finish with some pride. I mean, this is a team that, you said it best, man, they have found ways to lose games all year long. And they've been, I would say, Mick, I don't have the schedule right in front of me. They've been in just about every game really but one that they've had chances going to the last, 4, 5, 6 minutes to win the game. And they haven't done it. So they're very capable. And to be able to put it together against an Alabama at your place when Alabama has come in each of the last 2 times on the Plains and just absolutely ripped your heart out. You go back to the Bryce Young drive and then the 4 overtime win 2 times ago, and then 4th and 31 Gravedigger the last time. So this is a chance, and clearly all those kids they're on this team, weren't on all those teams or those two teams necessarily, but it is a chance to sort of get some pride back and to beat Alabama in that state. And I think for DJ, absolutely, it would not hurt his case. I think at the end of the day, Auburn's going to go outside. I think Summerall is probably the guy to beat there at Auburn. But it certainly wouldn't hurt DJ's case to win this football game. And I like the fact, Mick, and this has nothing to do with these two teams, but I like the fact that we're going into a Thanksgiving weekend that has some real meaning across the board, not just in the SEC, but across the board as far as playoff, as far as who's going to play in conference championship games. This has a chance to be about as compelling a Thanksgiving weekend in 2 weeks as we've seen in a long time.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, I know we're all pretty much sitting here going, this team's put itself in the spot by the turnovers against Oklahoma. But Bama went to Georgia and won. That's the best win of any team in the SEC, in my opinion, right? They went to South Carolina and had to basically pull it out at the end, and they were able to do that. They went to Missouri and beat a good Missouri team. All those teams are better than Auburn, right? So if you forget about the name on the front of the jersey and you do the things that you've been doing all year and not do what you did against Oklahoma, which was turn the ball over, I feel like they're going to win the game. My biggest concern, and I'm curious to know what yours is Alabama's lack of ability to hit home runs in the running game.
Well, it's bothered them all year. I was talking to somebody very close to that program who actually coached the program, who was just really, really upset with the way the offensive line has played this year across the board. Pass pro the last game, not being able to run the football. And it's not all in the offensive line. You're right. You have a guy. I was at Pitt last week. I'll give you a great example. Mick, I was at Pitt for the Notre Dame game last week. Jeremiah Love makes people miss. I mean, he should be tackled in a lot of those runs for 3, 4, 5 yards, and bam, he spins, rolls over a defender, and it's 56 yards. And those are the what great ones do, and Bama doesn't really have that right now. They've had a bunch of those in the past, as you well know, but they don't have it now. And then not being able to hit those types of plays in the run game makes it even more difficult, your quarterback in your pass game to generate those type of explosive plays. And, down the field, Simpson Ty's made a lot of off-script plays this year, but they still could, and again, this goes for everybody, protection, receivers getting open, Ty, they still could stand to make more explosive plays, period, in the pass game. I think it sort of calls them to be really, really precise because, man, if you can hit those big plays, you got a receiver or a back that can hit the 50, 60-yard play, then you don't have to worry about going 10 plays, 75 yards. And that's hard in today's game, certainly against the defenses you're playing and everything they're doing and all the different looks they're giving you. But to be able to do that, and they just haven't had enough of those this year. I think certainly you'd like to see them get some this week against what's a glorified scrimmage. And everybody in the SEC plays them in November. I hate them. I don't know about you. I hate these games in November when we're just ramping up to the climax of the season. And probably coaches like them because you get to rest a lot of your guys. But as a fan, as a junkie, man, it's just such a downer, to see these type of games. But Kentucky played Tennessee Tech. Is it Georgia playing Mercer this week? But going forward, though, you're right. Bama's got to find a way to do that. And this is an Auburn defense that can get after the quarterback. I mean, they've got some guys that and I think with Durkin being sort of that defensive background guy, they're going to be able to give you some looks and do some things. They're going to force you to try to beat them down the field. I've thought from after that debacle against Florida State and the way Bama responded, and they're probably as battle tested. Mick, you just said this. When you look at their schedule, who all they played, to play 5 straight league games, 4 of them against ranked teams, you got to have it going on to win that many games in a row. And, at some point when you get into November, I remember Nick used to talk about this all the time, and he's not the only one in that league. Winning in November, man, is hard.
Yeah.
When you get into November, I don't care who you play. It is hard to win in November because you got guys who aren't healthy. In a lot of cases, you played grueling stretches where you played a bunch of league games in a row. You face teams, in some cases, you don't have anything to lose. And it's just hard to win. You see it all the time, all over college football, teams that don't play their best game, or probably on vice versa, teams you play who do play their best game against you. And you have the type of result you had there in Tuscaloosa last week with Bama and Oklahoma.
Duke versus North Carolina. The Blue Devils make the long, arduous 14-mile trek to Chapel Hill for this ACC afternoon showdown. Bill Belichick's Heels and the boys from Durham have struggled this season, having lost 11 games between them. State bragging rights is about all that is involved here. Leonard's loser, North Carolina. Missouri versus Oklahoma. ABC will air this nooner in Norman, making it 7 telecasts on that network. After a signature upset of Alabama in Tuscaloosa last week, the Sooner Schooner moves to 8-2 and 4-2 in SEC play and ended the Tide's 17-game win streak at home. The Tigers come to town at 7-3, 3-3 in SEC play. The Felines registered a 21-point win over Mississippi State last week. The Tigers haven't won in Norman since 1966. Coach Brent Venables better reinforce the Conestoga canvas to prevent damage from tiger paws and teeth. Leonard's loser in a close one, Mizzou. Syracuse versus Notre Dame. The Orange rolls to South Bend for a tussle with the Pope's pupils. The Panthers have a 6-week losing streak by an average of 22.5 points per game. The Leprechauns are a 35-point favorite. Keep your remote handy. Leonard's loser, Syracuse. BYU versus Cincinnati. It's senior day as the Bearcats entertain the Cougars Saturday night on Fox. BYU sits a half game back of Texas Tech and 1 game above Cincinnati. The Mormons' defense is stingy, leading the conference with 14 INTs and among the leaders with 25 sacks. Playoff scenarios abound in this one. Leonard's loser, Cincinnati. Arizona State versus Colorado. Will from Vegas will keep a picking the losers, starting to suspect he knows the players. The Devil from the Sun is landing a Folsom Field in Boulder, hoping to spear a buffalo. The dominoes are starting to fall in the world of Neon Deion as the Colorado AD who hired him announced his resignation, and the Buffs started freshman quarterback Jay Lewis, who did a respectable job but couldn't stop the Neon from dimming at 3-7 at the hands of the Mountaineers last week. State should have no problem staying in the conversation for a Big 12 championship. Seems only 2 things come out of Colorado: beer and losing records. Leonard's loser, Colorado. Charlotte versus Georgia. It's the $1.9 million game between the hedges Saturday afternoon. That's what the Red Clay Hounds are paying the 49ers to be the sacrificial lamb. It's known as Cupcake Week. Don't understand why, since the Dogs are a 44.5 favorite and Uga is licking those jowls. Leonard's loser, Charlotte. Here's Leonard's list of likely losers. Liberty will lose to Louisiana Tech. UAB will lose to South Florida. Michigan State will lose to Iowa. Kansas State will lose to Utah. Virginia Tech will lose to Miami. Maryland will lose to Michigan. Louisville will lose to SMU. And Iowa State will lose to Kansas. Well, fans, that does it for Week 13. This Saturday, November 22nd, will forever be etched in my memory. On that date, in 1963, President John Kennedy was assassinated in Dallas, Texas. As a high school senior, I remember it well. And remember, if you can't wear a smile, wear a white hat so we can tell you from the bad guy. Get me out of here, Percy.
The original Bama Football Tailgate Show is on the air. Alabama football is rolling, and we've got you covered with a breakdown of the game matchup, an SEC preview, and all the fun of an afternoon on the quad. With national championship winning quarterback Jake Coker and CoverCrimson.com host Mick Gillispie. The Bama Football Tailgate Show is presented by Pearl River Resort Casino and Hotel in Choctaw, Mississippi. Let's play! Featuring the Sportsbook at the Timeout Lounge, Dancing Rabbit Golf Course. Also brought to you by Tuscaloosa Hyundai. New thinking, new possibilities. Genesis of Tuscaloosa. Luxury with a national championship service department. Yingling Lager. Yingling, America's oldest brewery. The only beer you need at a Bama tailgate party. The Floribama world-famous beach bar and lounge in Orange Beach. Sevierville, your Smokies start here. NewLifeArt.com, publisher of Fine Art Editions by Daniel A. Moore. Use the code Bama Tailgate for amazing deals at NewLifeArt.com.
And also brought to you by Visit Tuscaloosa, where tradition meets adventure. Alabama personal injury lawyer Steve Mezrano. Mezrano wins, we got you.
Now the host of the original Bama Tailgate Show, here's Mick Gillispie.
Roll Tide, everybody. Second hour of the Bama Tailgate Show. Great to have you guys as you hang out with us, maybe on radio somewhere, 106.9, our flagship station. Shout out to Scott down there at Fox Sports in Pensacola. We're going to be at the Floribama next week for the show, so come by and say Roll Tide to us. It's been a great start to the show so far. We heard from Chris Lowe, our friend Barry Buckner. We got Christmas gifts. And so I'm always excited about that. Make sure that you like and subscribe if you're watching on the Bama Tailgate YouTube channel. And I forgot to tell you guys in the first hour, but I don't know why. I need to tell you about Avenue D, Mick Nation. That's the way that you guys can hit that QR code if you're watching right now and win. It is our Web3 home. That's where our store is going to be. That's where our conversations are going to be had. That's where you can pick Bama games, all that right there. Avenue D, Mick Nation, and I'll remind you later on in the show. So it's great to be up here with Jay Coker, Steve Mezrano, Kevin Ritchie, but the guy that I want to bring on right now to start the second hour is one of the guys that really made the tailgate show what it is right now. And when Jake said, hey, you know what, I need to tap out next week, we went to the guy who we knew, our old school legendary friend, Mr. Mike Johnson. You guys know him from the Atlanta Falcons coverage pre and post game, two-time All-American at Alabama, national champion in 2009, and honestly one of my best buddies. Mike, good to see you, man.
Cheers, buddy. Happy Friday, man. Hope you guys are doing good. Happy to be here.
I see you have a beer and you're ready to talk some Alabama football. And then you and I are going to hang out at the Floribama next week. Are you? I know the last time we did that, it didn't turn out too good.
There's no oysters in this beer, Mick. Make sure you check on that, man.
I needed Steven up here to represent me. Things didn't go well in
have you told Jake that story about how you got bad oysters one night at the Bama, man?
Yeah, I'm muted, but he muted me for a reason. Mike, I'm looking forward to seeing you solo host next week. It's gonna be a great show, I'm sure.
He said he's just glad that somebody else, I'm going to be able to get on to somebody else. And
look, there's a 40% chance he makes the pregame show. There's about a 5% on the postgame.
Hey, man. Look, my media career has taken flight, and it's probably due to that night because I got dropped in the deep end by Mick one night out there at the Bama, man. So
if you guys, I see that Kevin and Steven are looking at me like, what? Basically, I was working for Tide at the time. Now, they didn't fire me for this, but they probably should have. At the Floribama, I didn't know about the floaters in the Bushwhackers. And by the time the post-game show got about halfway through, I was like Otis when he put the moonshine in the water, and Barney drank it.
You became Barney.
Yeah, it's a true story. Yeah. It's how Mike's career got started as a host. So the game plan was I was going to tell the station if they had a problem with the show that I had some really bad oysters.
I was waiting on the oyster to play in.
Dude, it was one of those moments where you gently make Mick lift up the microphone on his headset, and you're like, "Don't worry about it, buddy. We got it."
They kept looking at me doing this, like they were giving me the cut sign.
Mick was sitting over there talking, and Mike had just muted his headset.
Like push the buttons.
We get to the Floribama. Mick's about as reliable as a sunny day in Mobile.
Hey.
Last time I checked, Mobile's the most rainiest city in the country. So.
Hey, from what my memory is, Mick, from what my memory is, we weren't even coming back from commercial, and you welcomed us back in from commercial. And at that point, I called Big Bing over there. I was like, Bing, I'm gonna need a co-host. I don't care who it is, but somebody's gonna have to talk to me here.
Come on, his cousin came on with us.
Well, you got a 2-time All-American when he can step in that situation and handle it.
I guess like normally I'm always the person that kind of runs everything, and then that was a time where I didn't know about 151. I know about 151 now. It's very hot on the top of those bushwhackers. So we'll be back. And listen, this is for me going back there doing this show. Proudly, I own it now. So if something bad happens, it's on me. But the other thing is that Mike and I need to make it through one show.
That's the one, man.
Good to have you back, brother. All right, let's talk some football. And there's so many things to get into with this game between Alabama and Auburn. I know we're not, they're playing Eastern Illinois, but I'm not really into that one.
Drinking
guys.
that rat poison.
Yeah, I am drinking the rat poison because I just think this is kind of a tune-up for this enormous matchup that we have set up and
see, we say that and then I worry that Tony Romo, Jimmy Garoppolo, or Sean Payton shows up at quarterback and we're like, what did we just run into?
I'm surprised. I thought Mick was going to go on his trap game tangent.
No. I love talking trap games, but let me kind of just throw this out. And I know, Stephen, you kind of had mentioned this before, like the Bama's inability to hit explosive runs. Mike, how can that change?
It's going to be tough because I think a lot of it is a personnel scheme issue. Now, granted, we all know it should happen against Eastern Illinois, and it probably will. But look, I think our offensive line has to do a better job of sustaining blocks. Not just knocking people out the way, but actually sustaining to a point where the running backs can pass the point of contact. The timing has to be better, be that a design issue or a running back getting downhill. And let's be real. I know that, look, we try to look up to our running backs at Alabama, and we have always had great ones, but our running backs have to win some one-on-one matchups when it comes to safeties, corners, guys in the secondary. So, that whole thing that we've always had at Alabama where we have speed, tough, physical runners. If the hole's not there, we can kind of bounce it outside, make something happen, bounce out the backside of a power play. Well, when those contained players are out there and they're safeties or corners, especially corners, you need to make a guy miss. You need to break a tackle, and that's how we need to build in some explosive plays. We get tackled a lot one-on-one, and we got guys inside the box, the front seven from other teams that are shedding blocks and making tackles. I really do think, Mick, and you and I have talked about this, I think we get good movement on a lot of our blocks. We really do. But then, for whatever reason, the timing, the spacing seems off. It's guys are shedding and being able to make plays in the hole, and I just think that when it comes to our scheme, I had a lot of questions about our offensive line coming into the year, and I don't know that some of those spots have gotten better. I mean, right tackle is still we're still in a position battle at right tackle. We have issues with Parker Brailsford's out at center, so we'll see what happens, man. But I think we've got some guys. We just have to, continue to work on the timing of these plays. It's not to go too deep in the weeds, but I think Jake will appreciate this. When I used to be on the wedge in the NFL, which absolutely was the worst job known to man. I mean, I do not recommend being on a wedge in the NFL. But you didn't want the returner to be 30 yards behind you, because if you were on a wedge and the guy was 30 yards behind you, the guys covering were simply just going to run around the wedge, right? The returner has to be close enough to the wedge that when you make contact, he is passing the wedge. And I see a lot of that in our run game. There's pullers, there's all this different stuff, but too many times the spacing's a little bit off. And by the time the actual running back gets to the block, the block is being shed and there's a play being made. So, hopefully we can get that rolling against these next couple opponents and punch our ticket to Atlanta.
What do you guys think about the SEC championship game? Mike, I'm going to let you go last because I know what you think, but I don't know if everybody else does. Let's start with Kevin. What do you think about it? Do you want to play in this game, or if you're Bama, would you rather just skip it and go to the playoff?
I absolutely love the SEC championship game. I think in years past, it's always been a prelude to probably the national championship game in many instances. It's a great atmosphere. It's a fantastic venue. I love it. That being said, I don't want to give up a national championship to play in it.
Right. Steven.
I don't know if I like it because looking at the gauntlet of schedules that you have, I just don't believe the committee, if you lose the SEC championship game and if we're ranked number 10 in the country, is the committee going to keep us in the ranking? I don't know.
Were you concerned when we were ranked behind Notre Dame? Because a lot of people were.
So my thought about the rank behind Notre Dame is I kind of thought we'd swap with Oklahoma. Like when we lost, I was like, okay, we're going to 10 or 11. I kind of figured that was the spot. I didn't really care that we were behind Notre Dame. I don't think Notre Dame's that great of a team. But if you look at it, they lost to Miami. They lost to Texas A&M. Both of those games, I think, was just a total of 2 points. I think it's the Florida State loss that's kind of hindered Alabama, because if you look at Florida State now, they're 5-5,
right?
So I think that kind of hindered it. But look, I would wish that we were in a situation where there's a tiebreaker, but we don't win the tiebreaker, we get a bye, let Georgia go play Texas A&M. If not, Georgia's getting 2 weeks off, and I think that's dangerous if you're going to play Georgia. But I don't know. I mean, to me, I think whatever the road is in front of you, you just got to go do it. You got to go win, and you got to be at your best. But there's just something about this team. I kind of felt like the loss was like when maybe like when y'all lost to Ole Miss, Jake. It was kind of like one of those eye opener. Okay, you ran this gauntlet. You can't get in your head you're that great because of what you've done. Maybe this was just one of those things that brings them back to reality and the whole focus of them versus the world, and we see that take off the next couple of games.
Yeah, I mean, when I think about it, I think about what I'd want if I was playing. You think back to the 2017 team that won, without winning an SEC championship. And when I was thinking about that, I was like, man, that would just feel like something's missing. And it's very hard for me to get over the fact that, looking to get out, of an SEC championship to further your possibilities of success later on down the line.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see us in as many games as possible and play our best. Much to Steven's point, would missing it and having a home game possibly at Alabama be nice? Yeah, that would be awesome.
Be back here again.
Yeah, but man, the SEC championship, I loved playing in it. It meant a lot to me to be in that game and for us to win it. I just feel like if you're trying to win a national championship and you want to truly be at the top of the mountain, you need to win that SEC championship as well.
All right.
And I think the only way we get knocked out is if we get absolutely just obliterated by A&M in that game.
But I understand as a player you want the SEC championship, but do conference championship games mean anything anymore with the playoffs?
They would to me. I mean,
get a ring for it.
If A&M wins the SEC championship and we don't, and then we don't play A&M in the playoff and we win the national championship, you feel like A&M still got that last word. But it's if SMU got into it, I think it was last year.
Yeah.
After losing to Clemson, who was questionable to get in the first place, you got to think if we lose, we're still in it. Yeah.
All right, Mike, you give us your thoughts, and then we're going to head to Gaten and Grilling.
I'm disappointed in Jake, man. I got to tell you. Jake, I got to tell you, man. Look, he's right about 2017, but you know what? Those guys from 2017 don't have any problems wearing that national title ring. I promise you. And it's like I told Mick, guys. It's like I told Mick. That 18 you see on the side of that helmet, that's there for a reason. It doesn't say 30 for SEC title. It's 18, man.
Hey, but when I see guys from that 2017, I'm like, dude, y'all didn't even win the SEC championship.
Dude. I have the same conversation with guys from the 2011 team that got beat by LSU that year. Yeah. No, man, there's no doubt about it. Look, it's not as fruitful as it once was. That's the bottom line. And I I've had conversations with Georgia people and a lot of people over here in Atlanta that there's people that are nervous. Georgia is looking at the possibility, if all things fell correctly, and this has been a conversation all week, that if Bama were to beat A&M in an SEC championship game, is Georgia still getting a bye? I don't think A&M falls out of the top 4 if they lose to Alabama and Atlanta, but that's a whole nother conversation for another time. There's a lot of Georgia fans that are concerned. They would have a month off, guys. They would have over a month off if they were to not play in the SEC title game and get a bye. There was like one silver lining from last week. When you lose Oklahoma, I'm like, well, maybe you wanted to play in Atlanta. Darn. And then they're like, oh, yeah, Bama's still favored to go to Atlanta. I'm like, well, that freaking sucks. That's not good. Look, man, give me the home game in Tuscaloosa if that's what it were to come to. And I know that that's not the possibility really anymore. I guess it possibly could be, but it just doesn't mean as much as it used to. I'm all about, if the SEC ends up with a five places, in the future, if you're able to get 5 automatic qualifiers from the SEC, make that SEC championship game that play-in game for the playoff. Make that between the 5th and 6th teams in the SEC so they can kind of win their way in and make it another round of playoff. But for me, I would have been just fine if Bama wasn't playing in Atlanta, and that's down here in my backyard. I think it's not as fruitful as it once was, and something's probably going to change in the near future.
Hey, look, you and I are getting together at the Floribama next week. Bushwhackers on me. But let me give you some advice. Stay away from the floaters. All right, we'll be back. More of the original Bama Football Tailgate Show, including Tom Abraham from 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Another guy that Mike used to work with, coming up right after this.
I may not suit up on Saturdays anymore, but I'm still in the game.
Let's roll.
In here, I call the plays, make adjustments, and lay it on the line. Want to feel that fire, that rush? Then you've got to get in the game. I used to say it in the tunnel, and I still say it now. Let's roll.
Let's roll.
Why walk when you can fly? Tap into your inner eagle. Yingling Traditional Lager. Spread your wings.
When you head to the Smoky Mountains, it's only natural to visit Sevierville.
Even we had to check it out.
And we've been here our whole lives.
Experience the adventure of a lifetime.
I'm king of the world.
Even you can get a bird's eye view of the Smokies.
You're going down, Billy. Whoa.
Your Smokies start here.
Touchdown flavor, Gulf Coast style. Whether you're here for the big game or just hungry for a win, Floribama Old River Grill has you covered. Catch every pass, every play, and every moment on our wall of big screens while you enjoy fresh Gulf seafood, legendary burgers, and ice-cold drinks. With waterfront views and game day energy like no other, this is where football meets paradise. Grab your crew, bring your team spirit, and make Floribama Old River Grill your home field advantage this season, where the food, drinks, and football are always a win. Located across from the world-famous Floribama or online at FloriBamaOldRiverGrill.com.
Get your life back when the world's gone crazy. Get your life back, and I don't mean maybe when you know you got to have a friend. You call 900-9000 Christmas wins. Get your life back, baby. Get your life back, baby. Call 900-9000 Stephen Mezrano.
talk you don't want to miss. Lita Ford. And joining Lita for a very special encore set, the legendary Dee Snider from Twisted Sister. With special guests, Firehouse. Saturday, December 27th, Pearl River Resort Silver Star Convention Center. Tickets on sale now at pearlriverresort.com.
Barry Buckner for Tuscaloosa Hyundai. When Hyundai introduced America's best 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty, it was one of a kind. But you know us, how can we improve on that? Tuscaloosa Hyundai was first in the nation with a 1,000,000-mile warranty on every new Hyundai. When we told customers no charge, they smiled, and you will too. At Tuscaloosa Hyundai, home of the 1,000,000-mile smile.
All right, roll tide, everybody. Welcome back to the Bama Tailgate Show, hanging out, getting you set for Alabama, Eastern Illinois. This is the Bama Football Tailgate Show. It's brought to you by Yingling Lager, a sixth-generation company. Cheryl Yingling and her sisters, part of the company's ownership, proud Alabama grads. They put a little bit of crimson love in each one of those green bottles. Try Yingling Flight, too. It's a little bit, it's the lighter, kind of their version of Ultra. I see you put down a Yingling. They're delicious. I love, they got a little bit of, hop to them,
Oh, yeah. And it's hard, it's kind of hard to beat knowing that Yingling's got some Bama in them,
Yeah, right.
And
that makes you feel more comfortable with it.
Feels like you're supporting the team.
Well, that's what I want to hear. They've been on, and they've been part of our team, like Barry Buckner at Tuscaloosa Hyundai, since we started this show, which is really cool. When the radio station sent me the text, or actually the email, and said we were out, we did it ourselves, and they came on board with us. And honestly, it was one of the greatest things that ever happened. Sometimes you look at that and you go, you walk into a room like Jerry Maguire, and you're like, who's with me?
It's kind of hard to hear Mike Johnson. I'm just going back, thinking about what he said, talking about the weight of the SEC championship, not being as much as it now as it used to be.
Yeah.
And then you think about the SEC championship he was in, kind of the changing of the guard between
it was
Alabama
the biggest
and Florida.
SEC championship game ever.
Yeah, I mean,
exactly
what they're saying.
Yeah, beat Tebow.
Yeah,
that's literally No.
All right, well, let's bring on our guy from North Alabama. You know him as Tom Abraham. Some of you guys call him the Big Dog. He's up there talking every single day on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. We haven't seen him in a while because of his obligation to the Bassmasters. So when the Bassmasters calls, we don't see Tom. But, Tom, thank you for hanging out with us. Kevin Riley's here as well. And I don't know why I'm hearing a little feedback, but good to see you, man.
Well, yeah, it's good to be here. Yeah, I did catch that feedback all of a sudden there as well. You guys talking about Mike Johnson, my old broadcast partner? Mike and I did we did the Birmingham Iron together for the long storied career of the Alliance of American Football. And well, we had a lot of fun with that for 7 games, but we did get paid for all 10, Mick. You know how it works in broadcasting sometimes. We got paid for all 10, even though we only did 7 games.
Well, good. I'm glad you got, because a lot of times you don't get paid. All right, let's go ahead and dig into this slate of activity, Tom, and the rest of the gang. Number 22, Missouri, at number 8, Oklahoma. Oklahoma came here. They beat Alabama. The only thing they did good was just make us make mistakes, and that's good enough to win. They're a 7.5-point favorite, 41.5 to the over-under. Tom, tell us how this one's going to turn out. You got to unmute, though, Tom, because you're muted. I think you're muted. Okay. While we're trying to get Tom's audio up, Jake, tell us how this one's going to go down.
Missouri playing with a backup quarterback, man, I really put a damper on the year for them for me. Still got a great coach in Eli Drinkwitz. I think he's got the culture where it needs to be. 7.5. I'm still not big on Oklahoma. Hate we lost to them because even if we had beat them, I don't think it's a huge win. I think we're a better team than them. 7.5, still probably a little bit too much for me. I think I got to go with Missouri.
All right, Kevin.
There was word when I was looking earlier, they were saying Padano may actually come back for this game. I don't know if that's true. I just told you what I saw on ESPN. That's what they said. He's questionable for the game. So I think that changes the dynamic. Outside of that, I don't know.
We'll see. All right, Tom, are you ready to go?
Yeah, I'm gonna jump on I'm going to jump on the other side of this. I think Oklahoma's riding high after the win over Alabama. They got everything on the line right now for them. I think that I think it'll be a game through the half, maybe into the third quarter. I think Oklahoma ultimately pulls away a little bit here. They're setting themselves up for the playoff, man. They don't want to stumble in this one. I'm gonna go ahead and take Oklahoma.
All right, let's do the next pick. Tom, you just stay in there. I'm going to let you go first. Number 15, USC at number 7, Oregon, 10.5. The Ducks are favorite. They, by the way, have come to Alabama and taken our number 1 prospect out of high school the last 2 years, which is unbelievable to me. 59.5 is the over-under for the Ducks.
Too big a number. Ducks win the game, but I think USC can hang with them. They've gotten better and better on both sides of the ball at the line of scrimmage. This is something that, as Lincoln Riley has struggled with over the years. But I think USC is coming into this game, with their hair on fire as well. They think they got a shot at the playoff, and if they knock off Oregon, they might slip into that third slot out of the Big Ten. I'm going to take USC to keep it close. Oregon to win. 10.5 is too much.
All right, Kevin.
Same page. I don't see how Oregon loses this game. I don't know if USC has enough firepower, but I definitely think they can hang with them for the duration of the match.
How about you, Jake?
I think this game comes down to a field goal. I'm not overly blown away with USC, but I'm certainly not too impressed by Oregon. Don't have a single ranked win this year, I don't believe. Love my man Dan Lanning, but I can't get there with Oregon until they prove themselves. I think USC plays them close and ends up covering.
All right, final game that I want you guys to pick. Kentucky at number 14, Vanderbilt. The Commodores, surprisingly, a 9.5-point favorite. 52.5 is the over-under. Vanderbilt wins this, and they have an enormous showdown with Tennessee for a potential spot in the college football playoff, Kevin.
Not buying it. I'm sorry. not buying it.
Not buying Vanderbilt.
Not buying Vanderbilt. I'm so sick of hearing about Pavia. I'm sorry. I've had my fill of it. You can't watch a game with they're in and you only hear his name a million times. If I got drunk and took a shot, I would pass out before the first quarter was over. But Kentucky's not a bad team. They've had their ups and downs. They've had some tough losses. I like Stoops. I think Kentucky's got a shot.
Jake.
I'm a big Stoops guy too. Stoops he was at Florida State when I was there. Love him. Great defensive mind. I think I do think Vanderbilt's a consistent football team though. I'm not a Pavia for Heisman guy, but I think he runs that offense very, very well. I think he does a great job. But I think Stoops finds a way to neutralize in this game, force a few turnovers, and keep it close. So I think Kentucky covers.
All right, Tom, you're on in Nashville. One of your affiliates are up there. There's no chance you're going against Pavia in this game.
Well, I'm not a Pavia for Heisman either, but he's good enough to win this football game. I don't know that they can cover 9.5. I think Stoops is an excellent coach, and I think that they will give him a hard time. Two things, though. You said that, if they win this game, they got an excellent chance. Potentially, they would have to beat Tennessee at Tennessee. They'll be an underdog in that one. The weird thing is that I don't think a 10-2, unless some other things happen, I don't think a 10-2 Vandy, I don't think there's any room to get them in.
Wow.
Because you have to take all season long. I've said all 10-2s from the SEC go, but you got to fit a G5 team in there. You got to fit an ACC team, a Big 12 team. You got Notre Dame, and they're not going to knock out an 11-1 Oregon team, which would be the third from the Big 10. You already got 5 from the SEC, assuming Alabama beats Auburn. So there's no place to put Vandy. I don't know how we get them in. If it happens. I will say this as well, though, for Alabama fans, this is the one that you're watching. More so than Florida and Tennessee. If you look at all of the math, and I'm sure maybe you guys have or have not talked about this, but if you look at all of the math, if Vandy beats Kentucky, that pretty much locks Alabama into the SEC championship game with a win over Auburn. If you want Alabama in the SEC championship game.
I do, Tom.
I
do, Tom.
do
Tom,
too.
Can you stick Tom for some Bama talk after this break?
Absolutely.
All right. Tom's going to hang with us. I want to tell you guys that the original Bama Football Tailgate Show is brought to you by Pearl River Resort and Casino in Choctaw, Philadelphia, Mississippi. Jake and I just got back from there. We spent the week hanging out, Philip M. Steakhouse. I had extra steak. I actually put it on my salad yesterday for dinner. I mean, like those tomahawks, oof, they're amazing. They do a fantastic job over there. Dancing Rabbit Golf Course, the Augusta you can play, the Timeout Sports Lounge, all of that stuff. Golden Moon Casino hosts the Timeout Sports Lounge. It's traditional sports betting in which guests can bet on all professional league sports and major collegiate sporting events as well. Go check it out. 20 big screen TVs, all the major sports networks, 12 state-of-the-art wager boards for all the odds, the latest scores, 3 stations that handle all the wagers as well, full bar. And I'm telling you, anything that you need to have fun, they have it over at Pearl River Resort. When we come back, we're going to talk Bama and maybe not as much Eastern Illinois, but we're going to talk Bama when we come back. More of the original Bama football tailgate show right after this.
Well, howdy, fans, and welcome to Week 13 of Leonard's Losers as we head down the home stretch of this exciting college football season. The LSPM, that's the little smart pill machine, was in overdrive last week, finishing at 27-8, while Cousin Will in Vegas pulled out a loser to go 9-2. Let's tease the little smart pill machine with some pumpkin pie and see if she fires up. Kentucky versus Vanderbilt. These two first met in 1896 and have battled 97 times on the gridiron, and this is truly one of the South's greatest rivalries. This 3-hour drive from the Bluegrass State to Music City is a must-win for the Nashville Yacht Club if they are to have any chance for a playoff spot. The Felines are on a 3-game win streak, and the Doors best shore up that dinghy to remain in the hunt. Leonard's loser, Kentucky. Arkansas versus Texas. The Hogs head to Austin for this SEC matchup Saturday afternoon. This one should have significant implications for bowl eligibility and conference standings. This reminds Leonard of a favorite line from a country song: if you're going to play in Texas, you got to have a fiddle in the band. And the R-backs don't have a Stradivarius in the house. Leonard's loser, Arkansas. Tennessee versus Florida. The long riflemen sneak to the swamp, hoping to muzzle the Gator Chomp, which hasn't been exercising much of a bite at 3-7. The Vols have lost their last 10 in Gainesville. This could be the year Smokey has fried gator for lunch or not. Leonard's loser, in a mild upset, Tennessee. Pittsburgh versus Georgia Tech. The Ramblin' Wreck can clinch a 10-game season and a spot in the ACC championship with a win Saturday. This will provide some of the biggest highlights for postseason activity, and the Ramblin' Wreck just had a tune-up. Leonard's loser, Pitt. USC versus Oregon. The Trojans head to Eugene looking for their first victory since 2011. Donald is riding a 4-game winning streak since their only loss to Indiana in early October. The visitors will need to get by the Ducks to be in position for a CFP bid. This should be a battle of top 10 offenses and could result in a shootout at the Eugene Corral. Leonard's loser, USC. Western Kentucky versus LSU. The 6-4, 3-4 SEC Tigers, fresh off snapping a 3-game losing streak against a Hog, entertain a Hilltopper Saturday night in Death Valley. Leonard always wondered what a Hilltopper was and found it was so named because the school's campus sits on a hill in Bowling Green. About as original as Stanford Cardinal, which refers to the color, not the bird, but I digress. Mike the Tiger best take care of business Saturday night and not looking to be storming the Norman in Week 14. The Toppers can occupy their trip back to the Bluegrass State, counting their $1.8 million they will receive for this whooping. Leonard's loser, Kentucky. California versus Stanford. The big game is the name given to this rivalry, with the winner receiving a trophy of an axe mounted on a large wooden plaque with the scores of past games. The Golden Bears are fond of climbing trees and will mount the Stanford mascot early and often. California Governor Gavin Newsom will throw out the first pitch, and no one on the left coast will know the difference. Leonard's loser, Stanford.
Fans, we're going to take a break right now and hear a word from Sponsorsville. We'll be right back with more Leonard's Losers.
All right, roll tide, everybody, at Innisfree. Good to see all of you guys. Had a guy from Eastern Illinois swing by and say, thank you for playing us. It's a big deal for us. We need the revenue. The kids are glad to be here for Alabama. You know, obviously this isn't one of the marquee matchups that they've had all year, but I wish that this one would have came about 3 weeks ago where they could have taken a deep breath and maybe regrouped a little bit. We're at Innisfree. Jake Coker, our friend Kevin Ritchie, and then from ESPN up in North Alabama, 97.7 ESPN The Zone, our friend Tom Abraham. We're going to talk Bama and Eastern Illinois, really just Bama, I mean, to be honest with you. But, Tom, let me start with you right here. I want to know what happened last week to Alabama.
Hey, turn the ball over 3 times. I mean, it's pretty simple at the end of the day, especially if you can't, run the ball effectively like you want to. And I know the numbers show that they ran for 80 yards. Half of that almost came on that one run in the game. So, look, it's just the oldest thing in football. You got to take care of the football, and they didn't do that. You give up a pick six. You give up a fumble that leads to the winning points. Ryan Williams, I have no idea what's wrong with that kid or what's going on there. I don't know if it's the money. An 18-year-old gets paid, and maybe that has something to do with it. I don't get it. He gives up a fumble, but you just can't. You can't do that against a decent team. Oklahoma's a decent team. They're a good team. Alabama's never beaten them in a regular season. So, I think that was the whole thing. I go back, though, to, you could have – how different would things have looked? All these people that say that the playoff has made the regular season insignificant. Let's go back to August 30th. I mean, if they're beaten an unranked Florida State team that turns out to be not a very good team anyway. If they win that football game, where's Alabama right now with a loss at home to Oklahoma? They're sitting in the top 4 still. They're probably in Georgia's spot, right now. So, that's how important a game was all the way back 3 months ago. But they can recover from this. This is just like, look, we've had 10 wild card teams win the Super Bowl, over the almost 60 years of Super Bowl. And it's a different nature now. You don't have to go 11-1 or 12-0. You got to get into playoff, and then let's see what happens there. And that's what they got to do. They got to take care of business against Auburn.
All right. What do you guys think that Bama needs to do to get back on track? Kevin, quickly, and then Jake, and then we'll hear what Tom thinks.
No, I think just real fast. I think the main thing they need to do is just be steady. I think they need to work out any kinks. I think this is a good game. It's a tune-up game. It's the game where you get the guys, make sure you're pulling right, get the timing lined up, because you're going to have a big push coming forward.
I mean, the Oklahoma game was alarming a little bit, just because it shows you how reliant we are on how proficient Ty and efficient Ty is in the pass game. I mean, if we cannot throw the ball efficiently, then we're going to struggle. I mean, we cannot lean on the run game in order to consistently win games. We have got to be able to throw the ball, and all the receivers got to be where they're supposed to be when they're supposed to be there. And there's a lot of moving parts. So, I mean, it's alarming in one way, but at the same time, we all know what Alabama is. Okay, we've seen them operate highly efficiently most of the year, but you can't turn the ball over like that. And what I expect, or what I want to see, is what I saw after we lost to Florida State. You come out, you beat the brakes off ULM, and then you do the same to Wisconsin. And I want to see this team firing on all cylinders, and hopefully it's refocused us a little bit. I mean, for the good teams, that's what a loss does. And, you realize that these big mistakes, if you just one play matters. And we happened to have 3 that cost us the game, and we couldn't overcome them.
Tom, what did Kalen DeBoer do to get an extension? I mean, we keep hearing about the Penn State's interested in hiring him. If that's true, it feels like agent talk to me. But your thoughts on this? Is this his agent and him pushing for an extension, or do you think that this is a real thing?
I don't think it's Penn State, but I think you got to look at some of the other jobs that could open. We got to wait and see, when people start taking jobs and moving around, what might be open. I think he's had probably an eye-opening experience as to, what the pressures are to being the head football coach at Alabama, especially following Nick Saban. You would think that he was the guy that lost by 10 points to Texas at home, or that he was the head coach when they had 17 penalties at Tennessee and 15 penalties at LSU when they lost those games. You would think he's responsible for every loss in the last 10 years. And he's got to be sitting there thinking, goodness gracious, I can't believe somebody is talking about my job security when I'm a year and a half or a year and 3/4 into this job, and we are in this position, a playoff position here, at this particular point in time. Would he look around? I think he would, possibly, or have his agent look around a little bit. Will he get offered an extension? Beat Auburn? Let's see what happens after that. I think it's comical that everybody was ready to run him out of town on a rail after they lost to Florida State, and now 2.5 months later, everybody's concerned as to whether or not he's going to leave. I mean, it's just it's just crazy. It's just the nature.
But Tom, if he loses to Auburn and they fade out again this year, people might say, "Hey, you can have him, Penn State."
Yeah, that's a different animal. Losing to Auburn would be a different thing. In this case,
that would be terrible. But man, I'm still in the boat of you got to give these guys time. I realize it's second season. He's got a lot of talent, but man, instability in a program, and I think LSU is probably going to get Lane. I mean, I think that's ultimately what's going to happen. But I mean, being in LSU shoes, as of right now, and it all might work out, but man, when you start looking as unstable as LSU and some of these other programs, you can fall into that nightmare decade that Florida's experienced.
Well, Auburn. I mean, look at Auburn.
Yeah, I just
Tennessee after Philip Fulmer, they had to get rid of Philip Fulmer because they couldn't stand winning 9 or 10 games. a year, and it took them 15 years to get it fixed.
Yeah, I just can't stand this thought of just. I mean, overnight you can change your opinion, and Kalen DeBoer is a great coach with Ryan Grubb, Kane Womack. There's been some rough spots, but I mean, these guys. Look, coming to the SEC from the Northwest, that's a different world, and I think it takes a little time to adjust, and they've done a hell of a job adjusting as quickly as they have. I think they've got, I think they would tell you they still can improve, but they've done a great job of putting us in playoff position, and I think we finish out the season and make the playoff. We lose to Auburn. I mean, I can't imagine that happens, but if it does, you still got to give the guys some time.
Yeah. Well, I still look at the recruiting too, because the Brian Harsin nightmare for Auburn was the fact that they went into tank recruiting wise. This guy had a great recruiting class last year. He's sitting on some really top recruits this year, and so if he continues to recruit really well, the whole issue of him, you ain't from around these parts, really doesn't matter because he's.
I get that myself sometimes. Tom, tell everybody about 97.7 ESPN, the Zone, the Big Dog, the fishing, all the stuff you're involved in, how they can catch you.
Fishing season is finally over with, at least for the pros, and so that's done until February when they start up again at Gunnersville. But yeah, 97.7 ESPN, the Zone. There's an app for it. I am on every day from noon to 2. You can check that out. Obviously, we're extensively into the college football side of things for the most part, and also WNSR in Nashville, WCDT in Winchester, got a signal in Murfreesboro. So we're basically from Nashville to Huntsville. You can find us every day from noon to 2.
All right, there's Tom Abraham. When we come back, we're going to talk one more time. We're going to pick if Bama can handle a 50.5-point spread in this game against Eastern Illinois right after this.
I may not suit up on Saturdays anymore, but I'm still in the game.
Let's roll.
In here, I call the plays, make adjustments, and lay it on the line. Want to feel that fire, that rush? Then you've got to get in the game. I used to say it in the tunnel, and I still say it now. Let's roll.
Let's roll.
This isn't just a beer. It's a lager. A medium-bodied, amber-colored, one-of-a-kind beer. Made from those bold enough to brew it, for those bold enough to drink it. Elevate your taste. Yingling Traditional Lager. Spread your wings.
Barry Buckner for Tuscaloosa Hyundai. When Hyundai introduced America's best 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty, it was one of a kind. But you know us, how can we improve on that? Tuscaloosa Hyundai was first in the nation with a 1,000,000-mile warranty on every new Hyundai. When we told customers no charge, they smiled, and you will too. At Tuscaloosa Hyundai, home of the 1,000,000-mile smile.
This isn't just a place, it's a pulse and a rhythm where game day is more than a tradition. Heart pounding yet? It's where the flavors are bold and the portions are generous. Mouth watering yet? Art, music, and culture paint the city's soul. Creativity flowing yet? So whether you come for the thrill, the taste, the beauty, or the tradition, you'll stay for the Tusca life. Ready to feel it? This is Tuscaloosa. Live the Tusca life.
Get your life back when the world's gone crazy. Get your life back, and I don't mean maybe when you know you got to have a friend. You call 900-9000, 'cause Mez wins. Get your life back, baby. Get your life back, baby. Call 900-9000. Stephen Mezrano.
When you're ready to double down, dive in, drive for a show, and not look back. Roll into Pearl River Resort. From tee times to table games, water slides by day, slots by night. Savor the flavors, feel the fun, win big. Let's roll into Pearl River Resort. Must be 21 or older to play. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
A night of rock you don't want to miss. Lita Ford. And joining Lita for a very special encore set, the legendary Dee Snider from Twisted Sister. With special guests, Firehouse. Saturday, December 27th, Pearl River Resort Silver Star Convention Center. Tickets on sale now at pearlriverresort.com.
When you head to the Smoky Mountains, it's only natural to visit Sevierville.
Even we had to check it out.
And we've been here our whole lives.
Experience the adventure of a lifetime.
I'm king of the world.
Even you can get a bird's eye view of the Smokies.
You're going down, Billy. Whoa.
Your Smokies start here.
Alabama, Eastern Illinois. Then next week, the Iron Bowl. Thanks for hanging out with us. And don't forget about D Community. That is our home for Mick Nation, Avenue D. For those of you that are hanging out on our YouTube channel, the Bama Tailgate YouTube channel, hit that QR code. And if you're not, just Avenue D and then go to Mick Nation. We pick Bama games each week. We give away swag. We gave away all of our hats last week. And then we had a couple that we gave away on Avenue D, so we'll continue to do that. But if you go to the Floor Bama with us when we take on Auburn, we'll be there Friday 1 to 3 at the big Floor Bama. We'll have some hats and swag to give away as well. But it's been a great show from Innisfree here in Tuscaloosa. This could be the last show of the season, and I can't thank Sneed and Tripp and the rest of the crew here, the bartenders, everybody that's made this just a fantastic season enough. Thank you, guys.
No, they're absolutely great people. They've been super for the little bit I've been there.
They keep the Yinglings cold, don't they, Jake?
Hey, they do a great job.
All right, so now we look at the Bama versus Eastern Illinois game. What can you get out of this if you're Alabama, Jake? What other than it's a good rest period to get set for the Iron Bowl?
Just crisp, clean football, not turning it over, doing the little things right, no matter who the opponent is. I mean, look, I'm not a huge fan of I love playing teams that everybody had a little doubt you may win or lose. You know, I mean, I love those big games, those big atmospheres. I think these games are important. I think you gotta really get some extra practice in, and these games are big in terms of leading up to games against bigger opponents where you can really get on the same page with your guys and regroup after a loss like this against Oklahoma. I think we're about to pick, but 50.5's a lot.
Yeah, go ahead and pick it. I'll go first. And I see our guest, Kevin. I'll let him go.
I mean, 50
I'm going to take Bama and the fifth. Give Eastern Illinois the 50. We'll have that covered by sometime in the second quarter.
Wow. Okay.
Look, I mean, these guys are going to go out there angry. And the other thing is this, is that Bama needs to use AK Deer He's a home run hitter on the and the running back spot. You know, that you blame the offensive line each week because of the lack of run. There were some holes that those guys missed. This guy runs like a deer.
Yeah.
I want him in this. This is the introduction to what Auburn's going to see next week. The AK Deer era starts in this game.
Oh, I'd love to see that. I mean, we'll see. What do you think, Jay?
I don't really care who runs the ball. I want to see some. I mean, at this point,
Just run the ball.
Yeah, at this point, I just want to see somebody, you know, break something off for a big gain. I want to see something greater than 30 yards. You know, just an old school beat down. You know, like we're used to seeing, and guys, you know, just coming out there and playing physical above all else. I don't care what you do. If you're going to be out there, be physical, run these guys out of Tuscaloosa. And I mean, sure, it may cover the spread, may not, 50.5. You know, who knows? Sure, I'll take Alabama.
Take Alabama and give up the 50.5.
I hope this Oklahoma loss came at a perfect time to where we can refocus, because I do think I don't like watching us lose. I mean, that's
well, who does? Does anybody like watching us lose?
It sucked last Saturday, but you know, I think the timing, where we sit in the playoff rankings, it may be helpful for us to lock in and move forward, playing more disciplined football. I think we've done a pretty good job of that penalty wise. Been lackadaisical in some of the just play processes, but you know, again, when we lost to Ole Miss 2015, I think it locked us in, put our backs against the wall, and you had no other choice but to play as perfect as possible. So I think this is going to be something that helps us in the long run.
All right, Stephen, quickly, 50.5 over under. You taking Bama or Eastern Illinois?
I'm going to take the Tide.
Take the Tide to roll?
I think it's going to be like 63-0. I think it's going to be over with quick, fast, and early. I think you're going to see Alabama come out. I think they're going to be really aggravated what happened with Oklahoma. We're going to see them probably try to work on the run. I think you're going to rest some of the starters, hopefully, and play the 2s and 3s and just see what happens.
All right, Kevin, any final thoughts?
You know, I think I'm on the same page. 50, that's a big number. I can't remember the last time they covered that number. Just from a betting standpoint.
Well, it was ULM.
There you go.
Well,
73 cents.
That's about 8 weeks ago.
And I don't know how they look. They're going to win, and I hope they cover by 100.
Yeah.
You know, my thing is the one thing that it's my understanding is a couple of people are getting healthy. They're going to come back. So maybe, if nothing else, it can knock some rust off before we walk into the
Yeah, I'd love to see that.
It's a culture game for me. You know, I mean, we're going to see if these guys are angry or see if these guys have kind of tapped out. I mean, which I don't think that's the case, but you know, I want to see them come out and just shut them out, score a lot of points.
I want to see a bunch of hungry dogs that are ready to run down to Auburn and take care of business.
Playing to a standard, don't care who
period. And then win that game. If you said, Mick, you're going to lose to Oklahoma and you're going to beat Auburn and you're going to be in the SEC championship game, or you're going to beat Oklahoma and lose to Auburn, I'd say, no, I'll take the loss to Oklahoma. They live way out in Oklahoma. I don't want to be around any Auburn fans if they beat us.
Alabama's the worst set of fans there could possibly be. We're not used to losing. And now that we lost, we're all mad. But as soon as we whip up on the next two teams, we're going to be happy as
we'll be happy.
We get in the SEC championship. We're all happy. DeBoer's the best coach ever. Thank God he came behind Nick Saban. And if he loses to Auburn, it's time to get him on a bus and send him out of here.
He's done.
It's just a fan
Penn
base.
State's calling, baby.
It's just a fan base.
Have fun in Happy Valley. All right, listen, guys, I want to thank all of you guys for hanging out. Kevin, Steven, obviously so Jake, Chris Lowe, Tom Abraham, Mike Johnson, who will be with me at the Floribama next week. Also, Pearl River Resorts got Lita Ford, Dee Snider, Firehouse. They're going to be there December 27th at Choctaw. 8 o'clock. Check that out. You got that one family member. You're like, what am I going to get this guy? Get him tickets to see Firehouse, Dee Snider from Twisted Sister, and Lita Ford. You'll be the hit of Christmas. Thank you, guys. Gaten and Grillin coming up. Roll Tide, and we will talk to you again before the Iron Bowl at the Floribama. Roll Tide.
Welcome to Game Day Grub, where Southern flavor meets Saturday football. I'm Carl Lewis, North Carolina barbecue pitmaster. I'm Kevin Sport, and I love the South, I love football, and I love a good tailgate. So what are we making today, Coach? Hoss, today we're going with a recipe that's big but the flavor on the bone. Sounds great. We call them one-bone wonders, Hoss. just going to showcase my patience, my skills, and my sauce.
It's kind of like the patience you show with me. Let's get started.
Let's do it, Hoss.
A good rack.
I love a nice rack. You can use a knife or you can use a fork to get up under the edge of this membrane right here.
Is that good?
That is good. Now get you a good grip on it because it's slicky.
Okay.
And pull.
All right. Oh, yeah, man. Yeah, you just got to dig there.
Did that hit you?
Then ribs all
I'm
over.
sorry,
you.
dude.
How about that? Look at that, dude.
First time, dude.
That's what I'm talking about. I told you, man, I'm getting the hang of this, man.
Okay, let's throw that away. We got to do something else.
Okay, all right.
And you want to take your knife
All
and
right.
find in between those bones.
Okay. And
Start cutting. And when it's smoking on the cook shack,
yeah,
the smoke's going to roll around this rib. Grab the John Boy and Billy pork rub. Gotta have it. Turn that rib, coat all sides.
Rock and roll, man. Touchdown city right here.
All right, Hoss, we got them rubbed down. Put them in that pan and put them back in the cooler and let them rest.
How long is that going to take, Carl?
Oh, we're going to let them rest about 30 minutes.
Dang, Carl, 30 minutes?
I got you, Hoss. Well, you were on the phone a while ago for 30 minutes or so? I've been working.
Well, I was checking on game times.
See that? That's what you're after. That dry rub turned into a liquid almost. If they look good, they're going to eat good. They're going to taste good.
Okay.
You see how they are?
Uh-huh. I see
Just
that.
like snuggled up to one another, you know? Well,
I knew you like being close to me, don't you?
I do.
Oh, yeah.
Now we're going to take it to the cook shack.
Take it to the shack.
They're in there for 45 minutes now, right?
45.
You got enough time probably to take a nap if you wanted to.
Okay.
Hey, Kevin.
Yeah, man.
You know what? I've kind of grown listening to your music and stuff. You
Yeah.
playing the guitar all the time.
Yeah.
I'd like for you to play me some music.
Oh, wow. Carl, man. Which one you want to hear first?
You just start anywhere you want to. I love all your stuff.
I love you, too.
Well, I love you too, baby. Oh, wake up. Oh.
I must have dozed off. Hey, let me grab my guitar.
Oh, hell no, Hoss. You must have been dreaming if you think I want to hear you play the guitar. The ribs, dude.
Yeah.
Remember? Unborn Wonders?
I got it.
All right, Hoss.
Yeah. Oh, man. Carl.
Look at that. Isn't it beautiful?
Boy, they look great.
Now we got to get them tender. This is the number 2 process. Place them in the pan. Keep them all uniform and neatly. That way when we pour our glaze over it,
Yeah.
all of them will get coated evenly.
Evenly.
The same way. First
about that?
ingredient, apple juice. This is the beginning of your braising liquid.
Oh, there you go. Look at that. Brown sugar just falling on there like snowflakes almost. It looks really good.
Next step, got to have your foil.
Okay.
Let's take it to the cook shack.
Okay. How long they got?
We got about 30 minutes. Hoss, you've come a long way from my first time out here around this drill. I call you rookie, but you know what? You graduated way above that. I would really like to present you with this shirt.
Oh, wow, Carl.
Wear it right, and all the folks will know you came up honest. Put it there, buddy.
I knew I could do it.
Wake up, Buttercup.
Oh, man. Yeah.
We got stage 3 on these Unborn Wonders, Hoss.
Okay. All right. Yeah. You got it. Man, the minute you start taking this foil off, it
Smell is
explodes.
John Boy Billy hot and spicy on these to give them that kick with all the sweetness we got.
Oh, yeah.
And what this is going to do is just build a caramelization. Nice glaze across the top of it.
Oh, sweet. Let's get it right, Pitmaster. Hey, you know what, Carl?
What's that?
Man, you've been working so hard. You're the man. And I'm going to tell you what, you deserve a break. I can handle this whole thing. And matter of fact, I have set you up a chair down by the creek. I want you to go down there and relax. Carl, wake up, man. Wake up. The alarm's going off.
What?
Got to get the ribs off the cook shack. Wake up, bud.
Boy. Let's plate these things.
Oh, wow. Look at that. Awesome, Carl. Thank you. These ribs slap, man.
One bone, one bite, tailgate approved.
You got that right. Y'all hungry for more? Be sure to like, follow, subscribe to Gaten and Grillin on all your socials. For all those tricks, all those cool recipes that are sure to fire up your tailgate. I'll see you at the tailgate.